Today we're going to take a look at the onegx One Pro, and this is one of those little micro, tiny little PCs. We've had a few of these from other brands in the past, but this one really stepped their game up, not just in the design, but in some of the specs and the features. And so I just want to touch on those real quick. And this is a pretty neat little piece that we got in the shop. Really neat. It's very small. Let me grab a ruler real quick so you can see what the dimensions are. So you're looking at just under 7 inches wide there. And then if we go from the side so you can see the keyboard, we're looking at under about 4 1/4 approximately from the screen there to the edge of the base there. And then the overall, if we get the whole thing, you're looking at really about 5 1/2 inches with this slanted edge here on the front, kind of factoring that in. So it's really small. This one packs I believe it's a 7-inch, 7-inch screen there. And what's unique about this one, most ones we've gotten in the past have not had a touch screen, and this one's got a touch screen. So that's kind of a neat feature on something this small. But I've got pretty big fingers, and surprisingly, it's manageable to use this device still. I mean, it definitely feels small and feels crammed, but you know, even this little mouse down here, I don't know if you can see that, but it's like a tiny little touchpad, this little center thing here. And surprisingly, it's very responsive and sensitive. I actually was very surprised at how easy it was to move the cursor around using that little tiny touchpad. And then of course you've got the touch screen as well that you can interact with there. So let me go through some of the specs on here and then we'll take a look at the body. So first of all, let's pull up the device manager here. Let's close that out. We don't want to look at email right now. All right, so in the device manager, you can see here, system properties, we've got a Core i7-1160G7 clocked at 1.2 gigahertz there, and then the turbo frequency at 2.11. It's got 16 gigs of RAM, so I mean, that's a pretty healthy processor memory combo there. And then on the storage, it just keeps getting better. On the storage, it's got a 512 gigabit SSD. Gigabyte rather, SSD. And then let me open up device manager. I thought I had it open here. All right, let's go open another window here and we'll take a look at some of the other components that are on this unit here. Device manager, here we go. All right, so we've got on the disk drives, of course, that 512 SSD. And then for the graphics, it's pretty hard to cram, you know, some kind of high-end graphics processor in here. So it's just got the basic Intel, the Iris Xe graphics. And then what else? For the network adapters, we'll take a peek at that. So it's got the Intel Wi-Fi 6 AX201. And this one does not have an Ethernet port. You're right. Yep, no Ethernet port. So that's something you'd have to do through, you know, the USB-C expansion, or even USB old school would be fine for that. So yeah, no Ethernet port, which is no surprise for something this small. Now this one also has, you can see it's got the WAN, so it's got a wireless adapter for a SIM card, so you can have, you know, cellular, it's probably 4G more than likely, that you can get through a, you know, broadband connection there if you're mobile and you don't have Wi-Fi. So that's a nice feature. You can see that also shows up here under the networking. There it goes. You can see cellular, insert SIM, so that's where that pops up. All right, let's keep moving down here on the, let's see, processors. Here we go. So you can see that i7-1160G7 right there. So I mean, overall, the specs, I was pretty impressed at what they packed into this tiny form factor. A lot of the ones we've gotten in the past have been kind of mediocre, you know, not the best processor, RAM, hard drive all combined together. So this one's pretty impressive here. The screen is, as far as brightness goes, I'm going to say this is on the brightest setting, I believe. Let me double check. Yeah, you can see it's at 100%. It's pretty bright. I mean, it could be brighter for sure. I think if you're using it indoors, no problem. If you're outdoors, I suspect you're probably going to be, you know, squinting and having a hard time looking at stuff here. We haven't done an extensive amount of testing on the battery, but you can see here what Windows is estimating. That seems a little overly optimistic, 14 hours and 35 minutes. So I'm assuming that that's probably not super accurate, but at either rate, it's got a decent battery inside, and I think you'll be fine on the battery life inside. Now, a couple other things to note on this one. Let's take a look at the overall design. So is it just me, or does this look like a little baby Alienware? I mean, does it not look like they kind of borrowed some design cues? I think it's like this front kind of tapered leaning edge, you know, and then the back, it almost reminds me of, I think it's the Alienware, oh, maybe the 17. I can't remember if it's R1, 2, 3, or 4, but y'all comment below, let me know what you think. To me, it looks like a little baby Alienware system. They just forgot to put the Alienware logo at the top there. But this whole back area here just really, to me, speaks an Alienware. It even has this little slant here on the edge. I don't know if you can see that on the video, but it's just kind of slants. It kind of tapers off about a ½ inch from the edge of the casing. And that, to me, is just iconic Alienware design. So hopefully they got permission to use all that from Dell, from Alienware, but kind of interesting. So y'all let me know what you think about the design here. It's got some little dots, pinhole size dots on the front here. I'm not sure if that's for ventilation. It almost looks like they're solid. Maybe there's a couple of them that are for ventilation, but it kind of looks like it's just for design. I don't really see any holes going through here. So as far as ventilation goes, it looks like it's just going to be on the back here, and then in the very back as well, on the bottom and the back there. So that's going to be your ventilation there. All right, as far as ports go, you've got your SIM card slot on the side here. And then you've got on this side for your HDMI mini port right there, so you can go out with HDMI mini. We did not try that feature out, but that would be pretty neat if you wanted to hook it up to a big screen. Then you've got your USB-C for power, and then your old school USB 3.0, and then another USB-C 3. I'm sorry, just a USB-C rather. And then a jack for your headphones that you can put in there as well. So those are the ports on the unit. Now there is on this particular unit it's kind of like almost like Joy-Cons, I'll call them, that go off to the side here, and I think they mount, if I'm not mistaken, and then you can use those to play games and stuff on the unit. We did not get those with this particular unit, and so it's just the unit itself. But if you go online and Google this model, you'll see there's a bunch of people that have pictures with the gamepad controls mounted on there. So that's kind of a neat feature. But yeah, we got this in the shop, and it's kind of just neat to see how small it is, and wanted to give y'all some close-up looks. Again, this is the 1GX. Let me make sure I get the whole model right. It's the 1GX1 Pro, and sometimes I see it with spaces between the 1 and the Pro, other times without spaces. So if you're researching this, kind of try a combination of both there. But again, it is the 1GX1 Pro. And we appreciate you taking time to watch this video here at J Brokers. In case you didn't know, we are a risk-free secondhand marketplace, and we buy and sell all kinds of gadgets, collectibles, guitars, pretty much anything over $100 in value that's easy to ship. We will consider it. And so if you're looking to sell your gear and you don't want to mess with the risk and hassle of eBay or Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace, definitely check us out at www.jbrokers.com. You can get an instant cash offer on over 2,500 common products like laptops and tablets and iPhones and those sorts of things. You can get an instant offer 24/7, or if you've got something more unique like this little Micro PC, then you're going to want to click on the Get Personalized Offer, and you'll send us the information about your device. And as long as it's over $100 in value in today's market and easy to ship, chances are we will consider it. And you'll get an offer, a cash offer, no obligation, typically the same business day, sometimes the next business day if we're super busy. And then you can decide to go from there. Two things our customers love about J Brokers. Number one, we always pay the agreed upon amount for the agreed upon item. No bait and switch gimmicks. And second, we always send out payments on the next business day after receipt, rain or shine. So definitely check us out at jbrokers.com. That's JAY brokers.com. Thanks for watching.